Have you ever wondered what is going on in Ukraine currently and why it matters to the rest of the world? Let's delve into this. Ukraine, a country of rich history and vibrant culture, finds itself in the throes of a tense situation. The ongoing conflict with its neighbor Russia has not only affected the lives of its citizens, but also sent ripples across the global arena. But why, you might ask, is Ukraine so significant on the world stage? Well, apart from being the largest country entirely within Europe, Ukraine is a major exporter of goods and services, contributing significantly to the global economy. Moreover, its strategic location serves as a critical bridge between Europe and Asia, making it a hotspot for economic and political engagements. Yet the flames of conflict threaten to destabilize the region, and by extension, the world. Amidst this turmoil, Ukraine stands resilient, but not without the support of the international community. The question remains, why should the world not give up on Ukraine? To understand the present, we have to delve into the past. Let's take a journey back in time to the roots of Ukraine's history, a narrative intertwined with its colossal neighbor Russia. Ukraine's historical tapestry is rich and complex. Its annals tell tales of times when it was part of different realms, from the Kievan Ruses, a federation of Slavic tribes, to the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and later, the Russian Empire. A significant chapter of Ukraine's history unfolded in the late 18th century when it became an integral part of Russia, experiencing a cultural and political Russification. Fast forward to the 20th century, the winds of change were in the air. With the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine seized its long-awaited chance to break free, declaring itself an independent sovereign nation. A new dawn had arrived, and Ukraine began its journey on the path of self-determination and freedom. However, the ties that had bound Ukraine and Russia for centuries were not easy to sever. Tensions simmered, and the relationship between the two nations became complicated and fraught. The start of the conflict can be traced back to 2014, following Ukraine's political shift towards the west. Russia's annexation of Crimea, a region previously under Ukrainian jurisdiction, ignited a firestorm of conflict that rages on to this day. This ongoing conflict has not only marred Ukraine's journey towards progress, but has also created a deep divide between the two nations, with global repercussions. The struggle for Ukraine is not just about territorial sovereignty but also about the clash of two different ideologies: the democratic values embraced by Ukraine and the authoritarian tendencies of Russia. History has painted a complex picture, but it's the current struggle that demands our attention. The world should not turn a blind eye to Ukraine, a nation striving to protect its people, its land, and its right to self-determination. Why does a conflict in a distant land matter to you or me, you might ask? Well, let's delve into the ripples caused by the Ukrainian conflict that are felt far beyond its borders. In the intricate web of international politics, Ukraine is a pivotal player. Its strategic location between the East and the West, its rich resources, and its strong desire for sovereignty make it a focal point of global power dynamics. This conflict also has significant economic implications. Ukraine is one of the world's largest grain exporters. A prolonged conflict could threaten global food security, causing prices to skyrocket worldwide. Not to mention, Ukraine's substantial natural gas reserves are a critical energy source for several European countries. Any disruption in supply could send shockwaves through international energy markets. Moreover, the conflict in Ukraine impacts global security. The standoff between Ukraine and Russia has potential implications for NATO and its allies, potentially drawing other nations into the fray. It's a classic domino effect. A destabilized Ukraine could compromise the security of the entire region and, by extension, the world. And we mustn't forget the humanitarian aspect. The Ukrainian conflict has displaced millions, leading to a refugee crisis that has spread across continents, impacting societies far removed from the original conflict. So you see, what happens in Ukraine doesn't just stay in Ukraine. It reverberates through the corridors of power, echoes in the halls of commerce, and impacts the lives of everyday people, everywhere. A ripple in Ukraine can indeed cause a wave across the globe. Opening. The conflict has not only affected those within Ukraine's borders. The ripples of the Ukraine-Russia conflict have reached far beyond the territorial boundaries of these nations. Ukrainian immigrants scattered across the globe have not only felt the emotional toll, but also faced the challenge of supporting their homeland from afar. Despite the hardships, the Ukrainian diaspora has proven to be a resilient force. With a spirit of unwavering determination, these immigrants have made substantial contributions to their adopted countries. From the sciences to the arts, their influence and input have been felt across a wide array of sectors. These individuals serve as ambassadors of their homeland, sharing Ukrainian culture, traditions, and values with the world. Their stories of courage and resilience paint a vivid picture of the Ukrainian spirit, inspiring admiration and support from their global neighbors. Closing, the Ukrainian diaspora, a testament to the resilience and strength of Ukrainian people, is a beacon of hope. Beyond politics and economy, there is a moral dimension to this conflict. As we delve deeper into the situation, we're confronted with the stark realities of human rights violations happening on the ground. Innocent civilians, women, children, and the elderly are being caught in the crossfire. Homes are destroyed, lives are lost, and the future of an entire generation is at stake. This is not just about territorial disputes or political power games, this is about humanity. It's ethically wrong and indeed deeply troubling for the world to turn a blind eye to these atrocities. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document that the international community has agreed upon, states that every individual is entitled to a life of dignity, free from fear and oppression. Yet, as the conflict in Ukraine unfolds, we see these rights being trampled upon. But why should we care? Why should someone sitting halfway around the globe worry about what's happening in Ukraine? The answer lies in our shared humanity. We cannot isolate ourselves from the suffering of others. As members of the global community, we have a moral obligation to stand up for those who are unable to defend themselves. The stakes are high, and the costs of indifference are even higher. In a world that is more interconnected than ever, the ripple effects of such a conflict can be felt far and wide. In the face of injustice, silence becomes complicity. Let's not be complicit, let's stand up for Ukraine.